I want to make a point at the start of this video that this is a very rare circumstance. I'd rather not make a habit of making videos like this. Bluntly, I normally reserve this kind of thing for my personal Twitter account. However, some things you just can't put in 140 characters or less.
I should probably start this by introducing you to the two main players of the story. Kevin Giguere, more commonly known by his studio name and self-given username Dragon Slumber, and Edward Castor, known for running ComputerFiguur Network, a website and Discord server primarily set up as an indie developer hangout and networking point. Recently, however, the CFN brand has been branching into indie game promotion and marketing.
I've been a member of the Discord for a while now. Obviously, I am not a game developer. There are sections on there, though, intentionally for video creators such as myself. This was where I first got to talk to the two gentlemen at hand. Interesting tidbits, before I actually joined the server, I was messaged about doing a review on one of Dragon Slumber's first games, Aralite Core, by somebody who clearly did not enjoy the game. When I saw that he was on the server and that he was making a second game, being Astral Traveler, I figured I should pay attention to see if it was really worth the effort to make a review episode out of it, and if it was worth my time or not.
So it's here that I noticed the weirdness and started digging to see if I was onto something, or just being paranoid. And, well, I was onto something. Dragon Slumber's new game, much like his first, looked wholly unremarkable, but what caught my attention was that he had suddenly been promoted to a moderator on the Discord, and that a thunderclap for his new title, Astral Traveler, was being heavily promoted by Edward on CFN. Shortly after, a Twitter account was set up for Traveler, which, as it turns out, was being run by Eddie himself. These DMs you're seeing now are courtesy of another developer friend of mine, who received these after he gently teased the account one day.
Now, obviously, this in itself isn't too shady. Weird, sure, but not illegal. That came next.
Besides the website and the Discord channel, there also happens to be a CFN YouTube channel. It's mostly unremarkable, just a dump for low-effort Let's Plays, but then there's also little indie game coverage on here, and importantly, reviews. In particular, a review for Astral Traveler. A very positive review for Astral Traveler.
Remember the good old days of fast-paced arcade races like Wipeout 2097 and F-Zero? Well, there's no need to remember them anymore, because we have Astral Traveler.
With zero disclosure from CFN that they did the marketing for the game, with zero disclosure that this marketer has now turned reviewer, we have this video review of Astral Traveler that is nauseatingly sweet towards the game. And again, I want to stress zero disclosure. This, as stated clearly in the rules set by the Federal Trade Commission, is illegal, as well as incredibly unethical.
I'm letting the exact legislation hover here for a second because I want this to sink in. This is black and white, clear as day, the law. I am also aware that both parties initially involved are not based in the USA. However, there is absolutely no way that there are not similar, if not identical laws in Canada or the Netherlands. The pair should be ashamed. But of course, Astral Traveler is just the tip of this iceberg. We now have several other titles under the CFN banner using the same strategy, such as this one, Okinawa Rush, which has a suspiciously low Kickstarter amount for a game promising console ports in a year, which alone is setting off alarm bells. Yet what strikes me more are these promotional accounts on Twitter ran by Eddie in his program that are quote-unquote growth hacked.
To elaborate on growth hacking on Twitter, it's the practice of either buying followers or following accounts that immediately follow back and then unfollowing. You do both to give the impression that you have a higher followers to following count, so it looks like you have a sphere of influence of sorts, so like a reception. This is not in itself illegal. However, it is a massive violation of Twitter's terms of service.
Why does this matter? Well, because part of the promotion strategy is to use Thunderclap, a service that posts a single tweet on all registered accounts to draw attention to a topic. In this case, a game's release or a Kickstarter, By using these inflated botted accounts, it gives the false impression that these Kickstarters have actual momentum behind them, potentially luring a more naive client into using their services. Now, of course, with such an accusation, I have to offer proof. Even though several CFN associates have spoken to me about this, I'd rather just share this from Eddie's own website, which clear as day states what he's doing, sans of course the fact the Thunderclap would be utterly useless. Oh, and over on clients? Yeah, they're not even hiding that they work together anymore. On the topic of promotion too, those who know Eddie will know that he's not the voice in the Astral Traveller review. That's Aidan Jones, another associate of Eddie's who works with him on promotion for these games. He also happens to run Indie Gaming Podcast, and naturally, he did a very softball interview with no other than Dragon Slumber himself. Of course, this was not disclosed at all.
I'll be honest, there is a lot more to this that is not verifiable. I wanted to make sure that all of the facts and evidence and arguments that I presented with my public face would be, kind of concrete with no real holes in them. And here alone we have illegal behaviour, unethical behaviour, violation of TOS on social media. It goes on and on and on. I've had this information for a while now, and I've kind of wrestled with the idea of just kind of releasing it like this. But seeing now that they're getting nods in sites like Gama Sutra, it's now or never. You've got to nip this kind of behavior in the bud. It's looking to mislead consumers, developers, and everybody in between. And frankly, it's bullshit. I have zero tolerance for bullshit and demand better. That's all I've really got to say on this topic. Just demand better.